Hi Libra, I hope you're doing well. Libra, this is going to be a general reading for you, so there's no restrictions on dates or times on this reading. It's good for whenever it finds you. Please feel free to swap and reverse the roles that I'm interpreting. So if I'm saying one side is the Libra, you're resonating far more with the other side, that's absolutely fine. Just feel free to swap and reverse it. It's just much easier if I sort of channel it all from one perspective, otherwise it can get confusing sort of swapping and changing between the characters and the situations. And then obviously this is a general reading, Libra, so please just make sure that you're always running everything through your intuition, double checking with yourself that this message is resonating for you. If it is your message, you will know, but just always check in with your intuition to make sure that you're not getting any misinformation that you might apply to a situation that's not necessarily for you. Obviously, with it being general, the messages aren't for everyone, but hopefully if there's not something in this message for you, there will be in the next video. So without further ado, Libra, we're going to get started. I actually already recorded your video, Libra, and then literally about a minute before the end, my phone just wigged out and it cancelled it, so we're just going to record it again. But I'm happy to be back here with you, Libra, a second time today. I love your energy, so I'm happy to be back here doing it again. That was not meant to sound sarcastic, by the way. Genuinely, I really love doing the reading, so it's all good. That message obviously was just not meant to be the right one, so we're just gonna go again. So, a message. Ooh, oh, that's so weird. That's so weird. That is literally the card that came out for the other reading that I did for you, Libra. You had the lamb, and then you had the hummingbird. So that's weird. I love it when that happens. Okay, so let me just think if I actually need to pull another one. I think we'll pull another one in a minute, but we're gonna stick with just the lamb for now, because obviously it wants to make itself known, which is interesting because when I pulled your first reading, it came out with the hummingbird and the lamb, but the reading sort of went much more towards the hummingbird side, and the lamb was only kind of mentioned at the start, so maybe it really wants to make a reappearance because it wants a lot more focus on it. So the lamb, Libra. The lamb energy always comes across to me as, obviously it's so innocent, right? It's so innocent, it's so pure, it's so gentle, it's so soft. If you've ever held a lamb, I swear they are like the softest things in the entire world. Softer than clouds, softer than candy floss. They are just so fluffy and just, oh my god, it was one of the best experiences I ever had as a child when I held a lamb. They really are. They're just absolutely gorgeous, and there's something about just like holding a lamb that just melts your heart. I feel like if even you got the coldest heart in the world, the hardest heart in the world, if they held a lamb in their arms, I feel like it would soften them. Like, it really is just one of the most beautiful energies, right? But there's always a sense of naivety, right, with a lamb, because it's just been born, right? It's just entered the world. It's seeing the world with fresh eyes. Whenever we see lambs bouncing around in the field, you know, they're always joyous and innocent, but they're always getting up into mischief, right? So Libra, there's a sense of something is making you revert back to this state. Something's making you go back to that sense of innocence and naivety and feeling all soft and like you just want to have fun and be playful and gentleness, and it's so, it's just like pure innocence and naivety. And it's almost like maybe, Libra, things have been demanding a lot of your time and energy recently, and that has resulted in you maybe feeling quite drained or depleted. And the lamb, right, is the beginning of spring. It is a representation of a new beginning, a new start, or just like fresh energy, fresh vitality, right? Because they come out at the start of spring. And we've got all these beautiful spring colours behind the lamb. So, and actually now all these colours are kind of reminding me of the chakra system. And this is kind of similar to the message that was coming through before in the previous reading. It was very much about like the hummingbird was spreading itself too thin across flowers and that. So it feels like it's still very much connected to this reading. But yeah, there's this sense of a lot has demanded of your time and energy recently, and there's this need to go back to like simplicity, to just gentleness, gentle movement, gentle flow, gently spending your time in softer environments, or just not feeling like you're being demanded to do so much all the time, right? Because you're starting to spread yourself thin. So we'll get a bit more. Sorry, I just wanted to check it was upright. Get a bit more for you, Libra. This is the same card that came out, Libra. There must be, how many cards are in this deck? How many cards? Let me see, hold on. It's tarot, but it's like not the traditional tarot, so there's extra cards. Oh, tell me how many cards are in the deck. That's really annoying that it doesn't just say on the back, because they usually do. Either way, look at the stack of these cards, right? Look how big this deck is. And look how big that deck is. Uh-oh. Oh, I just dropped them all, Libra. Oh, do you know, this is so funny because right now I feel like a little giddy child, and we were literally just talking about coming back to this sense of innocence, right? Look how thick these decks are, right? You've just had the same card that came out in the other reading. Like, that's that's 2 cards from maybe, if you combine those 2 decks, there's easily 100 cards and over, right? And you've just had 2 of the same cards come out. That is nuts. I've never had that before. I've had cards come up repetitively, like, but to be in the same reading and for it to come out again, oh my lord. Right, anyway, enough of the excitement. Let me focus on the reading. Sorry, Libra. Well, first off, I'm just newly drawn because I didn't see this before, but there's so much symmetry in this card, right? And you're Libra, right? The right sign of balance, sign of the scales, and it's almost like here you have this scale that's going through your head. Do you see that? Sorry, my cards don't focus because my camera's not very good. But yeah, there's definitely this need for bringing back in a balance, right? It is very much quite similar to the message that I intuited before, but it's like, as I was saying before, it seems like there's been a lot of heavy demands that have been placed on you recently, Libra, right? Whether that be in the work environment, whether that just be within the family or within your friends or just life in general, it feels like it's been a long, hard slog recently, right? And now it's time to bring back the balance, right? There's a time that now is the time to kind of bring the energy back to yourself, right? Because you see how we've got all these golden colors here, and you see how we have this golden yellow above the lamb. It's like your energy has been very expanded outwards, right? It's been stretched really, really far and kind of thin, and it's almost like this message of like bringing it back now, bringing it back to the self, right? Bringing it back to self-focus, to just be gentle now. Now is the time to move into a much more gentle flow, a gentle movement, right? Very much like how the lambs are. Time for play, time for leisure. It feels like you haven't had enough time, right? The hero has so many demands placed upon him, right? He has to go on the big long journeys. He has to be everything for everyone. He has to be the thing that people look up to, right? Like, there's such a big heavy weight that comes with having that title. And then you've got the lamb, which is the complete opposite, right? It's like the total innocence. Like, nothing is expected of the lamb other than for it to simply just be, to just frolic in the spring fields, enjoy the sun, munch on the grass, just play with its mates, have a great old time. Like, that is all that's demanded of the lamb, right? So it's like, this is kind of the energy that you're moving out of, and this is the energy that you're moving into. It's right, you've been very demanded as of late, lots of responsibilities, and it's just been weighing you down, and Libra's just itching to just have a bit of fun and just to go back to silliness and lightheartedness and gentleness, where Libra isn't constantly demanded to do so many different things and to complete so many jobs, right? Love it. Right, okay. I want to get another animal spirit card because I felt like I wanted to do that at the start. And then it got all crazy with repeating cards. So another animal spirit, please, for my lovely Libras. Oh, okay. 2 more came out, which is interesting. I don't usually pull out this many, so we are going to go with it. Not from the same deck anyway. Okay, so we have the fox in reverse, and then we have the shark. This is very, very different from the energy that we've just been reading, right? So this feels like something that's entirely separate, right? Maybe something that's in your environment. So just give me a minute, Libra. Okay, so sharks are constantly circling, right? The energy of the shark is something that is almost looming. It's something like a presence that is looming over us, or that feels unwelcoming, or that feels, it induces nervousness, it induces fear or anxiety, or just a general sense of uncomfortableness, right? But it's very much like the shark always comes through with this energy, like the feeling of something sort of circling you in your environment, or circling your mind space. It's something that's kind of keeps coming back around, causing a sense of disease, uneasiness, discomfort. And then you have the fox reverse. The fox reverse, I always think of a character, right? I always think of it as a personality of someone that is cunning, but someone that is cunning to other people's detriment, right? Something or someone that can be conniving, or can be, it's like oh, why can't I think of the word? You know, like a dodgy salesman, right? Or someone like a dodgy salesman, right? Just for a metaphor, okay? It's like like an untrustworthy sort of energy, right? And this kind of feels like something that's sort of circling in your environment. Something that is very much not in balance or in harmony with the lamb. There's so many fables and folklore in that, right? About foxes hunting lambs, right? Or like the fox in the chicken coop. It's that kind of a vibe, right? The lamb is so innocent, and the fox is like a hunter of some description, right? But it's a hunter that doesn't play the game correctly. It's a hunter that uses sneakiness, or uses just its ability to be cunning, right? And trickery. Its ability to trick the situation into going in favor of the fox, right? So there's definitely this causing you this uneasiness, Libra, in your environment, whether this represents a person or a situation for you. But there's this feeling like it's very heavy, or it brings a certain level of darkness, right? And this might be why you're just really desperate now to revert back to this lamb energy, because you've been coping with whatever this is. You'll know what this is, right? You'll know what this is if it's resonating for you. Obviously, it could be so many different things, right? But if it's resonating for you, you'll be able to recognize what this represents in your world. But that might be even more so why there's so much attention now that's being placed on you to just, I want to move away from whatever this is, this demanding boss, or boss that makes you feel uncomfortable, or just gives you the creeps, or an individual who is just untrustworthy in your environment for whatever reason you have to work with them, or someone who just takes and gives nothing back, right? That's why there's even more emphasis for you to be brought back into this level of balance, and to bring your energy back into yourself, and bring your energy back to innocence. Because you see how this card here, we've got this darkness, right? There's like heavy darkness because it's swimming in the depths, and then it moves up here into light. It's like you've been kind of down here, right? Circling in this sort of an environment, or this sort of a situation for a while now. And lambs don't do well in water, right? Lambs don't do well in water, and they don't do well in darkness. A lamb comes out at springtime, right? When the sun is starting to come out for longer periods of time, when the fresh shoots are starting to come up from the earth, right? The shark almost circles in very, very different territory. It's like these two things do not match, right? They don't go. Sorry, I wish that the light wasn't making it hard to see the cards. But these situations are definitely not conducive to one another. So we're just going to get a bit more for you, Libra. Definitely stay in that lamb energy. You're definitely down the right track by calling your energy back in from whatever this is. You're being required to call your energy back to yourself. You shouldn't be giving of your time and your energy and your skills to whatever that is, because that will just take and take and take, and it won't give anything back to you. The Magician in reverse. This is what we were talking about, right? So the Magician upright is someone who is a prime manifester. They can manifest whatever it is they choose to set their mind to. They can manifest it with ease. They have all the skills in their repertoire to be able to create an alchemical process in a situation, right? When it's reversed, this is the master manipulator, which is exactly what I was saying with this fox. It's a master manipulator, a master of trickery, a master to be able to manipulate other people to get things to do, to get other people to do things for them, even if the individual doesn't want to do it, right? It feels like the lamb, you Libra, is massively being taken advantage of in this situation. It feels like you're being taken advantage of by this one, and I know for sure if this is resonating for you, you're going to know exactly who or what this is for you. And you know how I was saying, like, before, how it feels like you've been drained recently, right? Or it's been drawing away from your life force, and there's this need to kind of, like, the lamb is freshly born in spring, right? So it should be the absolute symbolism of vitality and rebirth and new growth and just renewed energy, right? But I was saying that you felt like you had been spread so thin or so demanded of recently, that you needed to bring the balance back to yourself to restore your own energy. And you see how this Magician here, I'm sorry that doesn't focus, I really wish it did. You see how this Magician here has his finger in this chalice? This chalice is actually filled with blood, right? And what is blood to humans? Blood is our life source, right? Blood is the thing that carries around oxygen to all our cells so that we can have energy and so that our body is maintained and working as well as it can be, right? So blood in the esoteric is like the very symbolism of someone's actual life force, right? And this Magician has his finger in your cup, Libra. It's like this trickery, this manipulator, just very unnice character that we have here in this story is depleting you of your like life source. And by that I mean, like, they're pretty much coming across as like an energy vampire. Like, what was I saying before? They take, right? The shark smells blood and it instantly just sees red and it hunts it, right? It always can smell the blood, it hunts after the blood. And that's what this person is. They just deplete, they just take. They are an energy vampire. So even if they're not actually physically asking you to do something, even in those moments, because I feel like this individual asks a lot of you. They ask a lot of you, they ask you to do a lot of work for them, to complete a lot of tasks with nothing really exchanging hands, right? Whether that be money or them doing something back for you. This is just someone who very much takes and gets other people to do their jobs for them. Even if they're not actually physically asking you to do something, this individual is still taking from your life source just by being around you. It's like their energy just sucks, it just takes in, right? It's like their aura just literally drains you. So when you are away from this person, if you've been around them, you just feel drained. You're just like you might feel tired, like you need to nap a lot. Your joints might be aching. So even if they're not actively doing it, it's just something about this is like a void. Like this situation, it could be a situation, it doesn't have to be a person. This just work environment, whatever it is like a void. It just like sucks. It's like a black hole. It's just like, it just takes everything into itself. So you have to get away from this, Libra, whatever this is, because you're the lamb. You're too innocent. You're too pure for this. You're too pure for this situation. And this is not an environment where you'll be able to grow and evolve and develop at the rate that you need to and flourish in the way that you need to, because you are spring and you're about to move into a cycle of new beginnings and new growth and new births, but you can't do it until you move away from whatever this is. Right, feels like it wants to end there, Libra. Libra, I really hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope there was something in there for you. If not, hopefully there will be something in the next one. So feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and yeah, keep an eye out for the next video. But I do hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day, Libra, and I'm sending you lots of love and light. Mwah. Bye, Libra.